Greetings, fellow netizens. I'm Bill. Today I'm speaking about becoming an Anglican and 5 reasons why I will. Before I get into that, it's worth noting that, technically speaking, I am not an Anglican at time of filming. Not yet, at least. The reason why I am wording my Anglican affiliation in future tense is that it does not precondition a mere intellectual assent to their respective dogmas and distinctives. Though there are 5 reasons why this tradition calls me. The first is the purpose of the Protestant Reformation. The second is sacramentology. The third is apostolic succession. The fourth is the Book of Common Prayer. The fifth is the musical heritage. The original purpose of the Protestant Reformation was reforming the Catholic Church of various accumulated doctrines and practices of the Middle Ages. Many of the presented accumulations contradicted both the sacred scriptures and subsequent deposit of sacred tradition. Many of the pre-scholastic aspects of Western faith and practice were retained within the Anglican Church in a way not seen in Lutheran churches or Calvinist churches. To say it a bit more bluntly, the Protestant Reformation succeeded in Anglicanism and failed pretty much in most Protestant denominations that aren't Anglican. And we'll get a bit into this with these other subsequent reasons, particularly numbers 2 and 3. So the second reason is sacramentology. The administration of baptism and the Lord's Supper are dogmatized within the Anglican Church, even over and above the other 5 what Anglicans call sacramental rites of confirmation, ordination, matrimony, reconciliation, and unction. The particular terminology around sacraments versus sacramental rites is admittedly the Achilles heel of Anglicanism, but I'm fully aware of this going into it and will deal with the consequences once I'm in full communion with Canterbury. While the secondary aspects of sacramentology may not be dogmatized, at least to the same extent that we see in other Christian denominations, the witness of the universal Christian faith and practice is the general consensus for Anglicans when we're dealing with secondary aspects of sacramentology, particularly things such as infant baptism for the forgiveness of sins and the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist, locally present with the purpose of feeding our faith with the grace of God. Things that are the general consensus of Anglicans, the universal practice of the Christian Church, pretty much throughout all times. And while it's worth acknowledging that I very fiercely acknowledge this high sacramentology, the particulars and documenting them is best left as a video for another day. Sacramentology is a parallel topic to this next reason of apostolic succession. The doctrine of apostolic succession, it states that there is an uninterrupted succession of ministry from the apostles through a line of bishops to this day. There's a derived version of this doctrine known as presbyterial succession, and we do see instances of what it describes in the patristic era Alexandrian Church. But presbyterial succession assumes 2 offices of the church, deacon and elder, while apostolic succession assumes 3 offices of the church, deacon, elder, bishop. My 4th reason may seem a bit irrelevant to these theological expositions, but it will tie back in. My 4th reason for becoming an Anglican is the Book of Common Prayer. The Book of Common Prayer contains many things such as a devotional, many devotionals if I'm being forthright, pre-written topical prayers, 2 different Bible reading plans, and the entirety of the Book of Psalms, amongst many other things. It's a common misconception that the 39 articles or the Lambeth quadrilaterals serve as the theological and doctrinal basis for Anglicanism. While I already accept the 39 articles in their entirety as well as the Lambeth quadrilateral, that does not make me an Anglican in and of itself, and disaffirming them wouldn't disqualify me from becoming Anglican. I've been better able to read the Bible using the reading plans therein, its devotional practices, and even the collects, the pre-written prayers that have given vitality to my prayer life. And I can unlock the fullness of this great treasure of faith only within the full fellowship of the Anglican communion. And that's the 4th reason why I'm becoming Anglican. The 5th reason is the musical heritage. There's a 50% chance that your favorite hymn, at least if it's in English, was written by an Anglican, particularly if you're fond of any of the hymns of Charles Wesley, John Newton, Isaac Watts, or Thomas Purcell. The first three mentioned, who were very prolific, particularly during the dawn of the First Great Awakening. I seek to add my musical talents insofar as I've used them to the church and the first fruits therein, particularly to Anglicanism. I've given you the 5 reasons why I am going to become an Anglican. And as fond as I am of my past rearing as an evangelical, the entirety of evangelicalism is behind me, and I am sprinting with what I could describe as a divine tunnel vision on the Canterbury Trail. Peace and grace. Have a great day.